1.
Morte D'Arthur, Book 3, Chapter 1. How King Arthur took a wife and wedded Guinevere, daughter to Leo de Grance, king of the land of Cameliard, with whom he had the Round Table. In the beginning of Arthur, after he was chosen king by adventure and by grace, for the most part of the barons knew not that he was Uther Pendragon's son, but as Merlin made it openly known. But yet many kings and lords held great war against him for that cause. But while Arthur overcame them all, for the most part, the days of his life, he was ruled much by the counsel of Merlin. So it fell on a time King Arthur said unto Merlin, My barons will let me have no rest, but needs I must take a wife, and I will none take but by thy counsel and by thine advice. It is well done, said Merlin, that ye take a wife, for a man of your bounty and noblesse should not be without a wife. Now, is there any that ye love more than another? Yea, said King Arthur, I love Guinevere, the king's daughter, Leo de Grance of the land of Cameliard, the which holdeth in his house the Table Round that ye told he had of my father Uther. And this damsel is the most valiant and fairest lady that I know living, or yet that ever I could find. Sir, said Merlin, as of her beauty and fairness, she is one of the fairest alive. But, an ye loved her not so well as ye do, I should find you a damsel of beauty and of goodness, that should like you and please you, and your heart were not set. But there's a man's heart is set, he will be loath to return. That is truth, said King Arthur. But Merlin warned the king covertly that Guinevere was not wholesome for him to take to wife, for he warned him that Lancelot should love her, and she him again, and so he turned his tale to the adventures of Holy Grail. Then Merlin desired the king for to have men with him that should inquire of Guinevere, and so the king granted him. And Merlin went forth unto King Leo de Grance of Cameliard, and told him of the desire of the king, that he would have unto his wife Guinevere his daughter. That is to me, said King Leo de Grance, the best tidings that I've ever heard, that so worthy a king of prowess and noblesse will wed my daughter. And as for my lands, I will give him whilst it might please him. But he hath lands enow, him needeth none. But I shall send him a gift, shall please him more, for I shall give him the Table Round, the which Uther Pendragon gave me. And when it is full complete, there is 100 knights and 50. And as for 100 good knights, I have myself, but I fought 50, for so many have been slain in my days. And so Leo de Grance delivered his daughter, Guinevere, unto Merlin, and the Table Round, with the 100 knights, and so they rode freshly with great royalty, what by water and what by land, till they came nigh unto London. Chapter 2. How the Knights of the Round Table were ordained and their sieges blessed by the Bishop of Canterbury. When King Arthur heard of the coming of Guinevere and the 100 knights with the Table Round, then King Arthur made great joy for her coming, and that rich present, and said openly, This fair lady is passing welcome unto me, for I have loved her long, and therefore there is nothing so life to me. And these knights with the Round Table please me more than great riches. And in all haste the king let ordain for the marriage and the coronation in the most honorable wise that could be devised. Now Merlin, said King Arthur, go thou and espy in all this land 50 knights, which would be of most prowess and worship. Within short time, Merlin had found such knights that should fulfill 28 knights, but no more he could find. Then the Bishop of Canterbury was fetched, and he blessed the sieges and great royalty and devotion, and there set the 28 knights in their sieges. And when this was done, Merlin said, Fair sirs, ye must arise and come to King Arthur, for to do him homage. He will have the better will to maintain you. And so they arose and did their homage. And when they were gone, Merlin found in every sieges letters of gold that told the knights' names that had sitten therein. But 2 sieges were void. And so anon came young Gawain and asked the king a gift. Ask, said the king, and I shall grant it to you. Sir, I ask that you will make me knight That same day ye shall wed fair Guinevere, and I will do it with a good will, said King Arthur, and do unto you all the worship that I may, for I must reason, ye are my nephew, my sister's son.